Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. I'm just a girl who has a lot of isolation problems. I have been in a funk, y'all, like a funkity funk. Okay, I feel like this video is coming 3 or 4 weeks later, but I've been in a funk. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, things happen, life happens, life be lifing, and I don't know, I'm just human. And I think it's totally okay to take breaks, especially just specifically mental health breaks when you need to. But I kid you not, I had no motivation. I still don't have motivation to this day, but the one thing to implement motivation is discipline. So I'm here. I had like no motivation to edit my last video because the footage just was not where I wanted it to be, and it was travel vlogs, but it was a mess. It was a mess. And then, you know, I got a full-time job. I don't know if I told you guys that in the last video, but balancing full-time job and my part-time job and acting, I didn't even do New York Fashion Week, y'all. Like, I don't even know what's happening. I didn't do New York Fashion Week. I did New York Fashion Week last year, and it was the best time of my life. But unfortunately, that just did not happen this year, and I had to accept it and, you know, put this first, as I definitely always recommend that y'all do that as well. And yeah. Also, before we start the video, I just wanted to say that I am throwing my first event. It is called For the Creatives. It is a brunch, and it is something I just did on a whim, and I was just like, I've been wanting this for a long time, and I don't know, I just did it. And we sold out. I had only 30 tickets and sold out 30 tickets, but I opened it back up because I'm like, okay, I could squeeze in a lot more people. And yeah, there's 5 more tickets left, and so I am just very grateful. But I will put in the link down below if any of you guys are interested in attending. It is in New York, it is in Manhattan, and yeah, it's for my creative girlies, models, actors, singers, fashionistas. Pulling up, don't be shy. We're gonna network, we're gonna chit chat, we are going to have fun, we're gonna brunch. Lots of rosé will be involved, and yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm just proud of myself. Okay, I don't really feel like I say that a lot, but I'm proud of myself, and yeah, I'm just excited. It's on the 28th, and I will put down the information below because you're finna turn up. Okay, so yeah, but anyways, welcome back to my video. And honestly, I think the greatest thing about like making these videos is it helps me apply these things, talking about it helps me apply it to my life as well. I kind of like to talk about things or themes that are going on in my life. So as you can see by the video, the title, what am I talking about? As you can see by the title, it's called How to Stop Rushing Your Life. And let me tell you, I think this is something that you tend to do when you feel like, I don't know, maybe you're out of time at such a young age. I feel like this really definitely applies to the youngsters, because we see that, you know, people our age or people that are not even our age has so and so got this and that, and we feel, hold on. Yeah, as I was saying, we feel like we have to rush our life because we see that certain people have this, certain people got that. And I feel like most of the time it's because we're comparing ourselves, and we think that we are very much behind, so we gotta speed up, we gotta catch up. But I was talking about this with somebody the other day, and I was like, this is something that really helps me not compare myself to, you know, people in general. And I feel like I find myself probably comparing myself to, you know, individuals that they are older. Like, they're older. Let's say we have like the same goals, like we want to be in a big film, or we just want to book all the time, which is not really realistic unless you are Denzel Washington. But I had to realize that this person, right, started mad long ago, because they've been on this earth longer than I have. So they had more years to study, to learn from, like all these experiences. I'm just now learning how to do like proper self-tapes, how to really perfect my self-tapes, how to really do proper work when it comes to when I first get my sides, like the actual scene study. I'm just now really, doing that, perfecting that. And it's because I was going through a lot of learning, a lot of failures. I was going through a lot of failures. I was like, okay, this isn't working, so let me try this. Let me try improving on this. And you learn from your failures. But I still have so much to learn in my craft. And that individual that is like, 30, they learned so much in their 30 years or however long they've been doing it, but they've been doing it longer than I have. And so, it takes time. A lot of the actors that like I look up to, or I'm just now seeing, like enter the spotlight, they have been doing this for years and they're just now entering the spotlight. The one thing I've always heard is that it takes like 10 years to really make it. And so, it's just kind of like you can't compare yourself to people. Now, let's say they are the same age. Do they look like you? Do they talk like you? Do they act like you? Do they have the things you do? No. So you can't compare yourself unless you have like an identical twin and y'all are just strictly identical. Okay, but if they don't have that same lifestyle that you have, or they're just not you, no one else can be you. You bring something different to the table, things that you just have to find it. You just have to find it. And I will say that it's hard because, I think the main theme with Instagram is that I feel like every time I try to make a video, there's always a sound in the back. We have things like Instagram, and you think like people are living their best lives, and you could be home sad as hell, and you're like, I was in a funk, and I'm like, I wish I could get out of this damn funk. People are asking me like, why don't I, go to this? Why haven't I been to this? Why haven't I been? Because I have no motivation, and it's gonna go away. Like that funk. I'm gonna get out of it. But right now, like, I'm gonna just sit and listen, because I felt like I had to force myself to get out of this funk. But naturally, it's like you can't really force it out. You have to understand why you're feeling this funk. What is happening? What can you do to, what were you doing before this funk? Why were you happy? Like, you have to understand, acknowledge before you just force it out, because it's gonna just come right back. I went out for a few days and had a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself, but then I ended up back in that funk. So you really have to understand what is triggering, certain things. And I think for me, it was strictly that I was just rushing my life. I was rushing my life. I was seeing that, all these people seem to be getting all these things. And I'm like, where is it for me? When is it gonna come? I don't know. But I just, you have to count your blessings. And it's really difficult to appreciate all the things that you do have when you really just, you've been praying to God about, specific things, and you just feel like, where it at? Where is it? Like, I feel like I'm trying. I feel like I'm trying to pass all your tests, and it's hard. But obviously, the number one step is to not compare yourself, because everyone's story looks different. And I think, honestly, I will always agree with the fact that comparison is a thief of joy. It's really difficult not to do. Like, once you get in that pattern, it's kind of hard to get out of it. But you got to understand that your life is your life. I do not want anything that is not meant for me. Let's repeat it together. We don't want anything that's not meant for me. Period. I think strictly like whatever is for you will not miss you. Not even a think. I know that it will not miss you. I think it should give you the actual ache to want things that are not for you. You know, and one thing I always take with me is that some blessings just take a lot more time. You know, I was watching this TikTok and it helped me put things into perspective. Let's say you order a burger, okay? And sis over here order a sirloin steak. The burger is gonna take a little bit less time to cook, but the steak is gonna take longer. The bigger the blessing, the longer it's going to take. But while you are on the way to receive that blessing, you are learning so much, okay? And you are going to receive the little things that, you know, allow you to get to that big blessing. But I think sometimes we really ignore it because we're so focused on the bigger picture. We're not looking at all the small things. We're looking at, oh my God, I just want to get there already. But honestly, it's not a race. It's not a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. I'm coming through with the quotes today. And one thing I've also realized is a lot of things that we prayed for, we're living in them right now. But we're always so hyper fixated on what's next. We're never thinking about the present. And that's why we're always rushing. We never just live in the moment, you know, and that's something that I feel like is a process to learn, but to live in the moment and enjoy what we do have instead of worrying about what's going to come next. As I recall, I was praying for a full-time job literally months ago. I have a full-time job now. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, a full-time job, it's a lot, you know what I mean? So then we start complaining. And then, you know, honestly, sometimes we pray for things that turn out to not be what we thought, you know, we thought was going to be like the greatest thing for us. You know, sometimes we pray for it, we get it, and then we realize that we can't handle it. And that is also okay. Sometimes God gives us things to see if we can handle it. It is totally okay to not be able to handle things that you thought you were going to be able to handle. That does not make you weak. That does not make you inferior. It just makes you human. It's always up to you, though, to find a solution, because there always is a solution. It's not the end of the world. Like, you're going to be fine. And it happens. Like, literally, I've heard this from so many people that are in my position. Like, I tried a full-time job. I literally heard this from people that are like 30 years old. And they've told me like all the phases in their life. I had a full-time job, didn't work out. I couldn't, you know, attend to my my auditions. And I was just always tired because I was doing so much. Baby, I am tired. I am so tired. But I am doing the best I can, and I think that's just what you have to tell yourself. And I think for me personally, as I'm trying to, you know, juggle all these things, I feel like I couldn't adhere to the things I wanted to because I didn't have all the time in the world, and so I felt like I had to do everything all at once. But I'm like, this is draining me, this is burning me out. And that's where you also have to just acknowledge, like, it's okay if you can't do everything. You don't have to do everything all at once. I'm only 22. You're probably only in your 20s too. Like, who is saying we have to do all these things? Us. Probably, most likely. So, definitely listen to your gut when you realize that rushing is not the answer. I also feel like, depending on your environment, depending on the industry that you're in, I grew up in New York, born and raised, and as you know, New York is very hustle bustle. And so I feel like there's always this thing where you just can't really rest. Sometimes we don't listen to our bodies to just take a break. We feel like we have to hustle, we have to be booked and busy, we have to do this, we have to do that. And if we're not, are we failing? No. And this doesn't just go for like industry, this goes for anything. You are not failing because you decide to take a break. You are actually succeeding because you're listening to yourself. Right? And I think the reason as to why we're rushing is because we're in this fictional race with other people. It's okay to say, I'm going to take a break. I can't do this right now. I cannot juggle all these things. You should be in a fictional race with 5-year-old self, 13-year-old self, 18-year-old self. You know, they are the people that help you get to where you want to get. You know, they help current you get to the finish line. They're like, let's go. You got this. You got this. You've done it before. I know you can do it. Like type shit. And even your 80-year-old self, like future self is like, I see you. I'm already here. Like, you know, clearly you can do it if I'm here. I'm here. Shit. But everything you've experienced has equipped you with the tools that you need for when you get, you know, when you receive your big goal, when you accomplish your big goal. But I think definitely like when we relax and we still put in that effort. I'm not saying relax and, like I said, stay on your lazy ass and do nothing. Please don't do that. Mama ain't raised indolent. Like, when I say relax, I mean really like don't overwork yourself, but also put things into perspective and gratitude and still put in the work that you need to in order to get to where you need to get. A lot of times we're praying for things, but are we really putting in the work? We have to work with God as well. Let's say you're praying to like pass the NCLEX, is that the registered nurse test? Let's say you're trying to become a nurse. Shit. You can't just not study. Like, come on now. Like you gotta study your ass off. Now, if a friend offers, you know, for you to come out with them for drinks and you know that you got a really, really, really big like practice exam for the actual exam tomorrow, what the fuck is you gonna do? God, that's a test right there. God gonna see if you're serious or not serious about it. You know, and he'll keep on testing you until you prove to him that you are serious about the things that you want. This is your biggest dream and goal. And he's like, well, technically, you know, you didn't study for it. So what do you expect? You know, if you study for a 60, you're going to get a 60. You can't study for a 60 and expect an A. All through college, like, I kid you not, I barely studied. I'm gonna be so honest, but I passed. But there was just one test because I was like, I refuse to fail this class. I refuse to fail this class. I can't take this class for the second time. And I studied my ass out for 12 hours and I passed the test with a 72. At least I passed. But I put in the work. So yeah, you gotta work with yourself. But again, you gotta also work with here, everywhere. Yeah, just do that. But put in the work at the same time. But don't hurt yourself. Now a tip for my social media anxious girlies. Here is a tip. Well, here's a different mindset or perspective that you could just, you know. I feel like a lot of us think that social media is toxic because you're following the wrong people. Yeah. If you are following someone that does not inspire you, does not motivate you, unfollow them right now. Follow people that push you. Okay? Clean out your Instagram. Unfollow all the people that you may compare yourself to. If you compare yourself, that's okay. At least you acknowledge it and clean it out. Cool. Start following more positive accounts that have to do with what you do. That you are strictly inspired by. Beyonce follows one person on Instagram. Do y'all know that? She follows one person on Instagram. And I know it's because she's Beyonce. Like, it's not like, I feel like if I follow mad people, I will lose a lot of followers. But Shit, I wish. Like, imagine just being able to follow one person, you're straight. A lot of times, too, is you could also start a new page. That is just start fresh. You can start a new page. I know that's scary. You can still keep your old page, but start a new page and be on that page more. And maybe it will cause less, like, distractions and comparison. And I will say that all starts with you. One, I won't say that's like the other person's fault or anything like that. Never. That all starts with your mindset. Now, but you have control over these things. If you don't want to follow that person, there's a button, right? And it just says like follow. You press it and then it gives you the option to unfollow them. It's really simple. And that's it. Like that's how simple it is. And this goes for strangers. If you are comparing yourself to your friends, baby, you better get on with yourself and get some motivation there, because we is applauding our friends. You know, we are applauding our friends regardless. You know, if that's really your friend, we're gonna applaud and we're gonna wait for our turn. But in the meantime, it is your turn, and I love that for you. Support. But let's say these are just strangers that you don't even freaking know. You don't gotta follow them. You don't. If no one told you that, I'm telling you that. Yeah. This is really for career, but I guess we could go into relationships too. Shit. I hope you're not also looking for a man. I hope you're not rushing that as well. Look for the bag instead. He's going to come. Look for the bag instead. He's going to come. We talked about career. We're talking about relationships now, okay, baby? I don't know when he's going to come, but he's going to come. And maybe it's not working out because of several reasons. The male pool is trash, and maybe there's more work that needs to be done. Yeah. I don't know how the pool is out there right now, because I'm so thankful for my boo. But the way that came is because simply I was learning to love myself. And I was strictly just not looking for a relationship and trying to get to know myself, heal whatever parts I needed to heal. And honestly, it'll probably be like healing from things for a long time, realistically. I don't think you have to, like, you know, sometimes things take 2 years, 3 years. What are you gonna do, stay out of a relationship for 5 years if that's how long it takes you to heal? Like, not everything has to be perfect in life, and a lot of times put too much pressure on it, you know, like we have to heal completely. Really, you just have to heal the parts that are not going to be projected on other people and also onto yourself. I'm still working on a lot of things, but I make sure that doesn't interfere with my relationship, my friendships. So, you know, everybody's kind of like fucked up in some way. You have to realize that we're all kind of fucked up in some way, but it'll be made very clear to you, like, if those flaws that you've developed are affecting your relationship. You know, if somebody broke your heart, are you going to now let that one experience determine every experience in your life? No. So when it comes to rushing, it's like, take your time and heal whatever parts you need to heal, but it's gonna come. Like, that person that can help you, trust them, is going to come. Because I've been to my fair shares, and you know, I got someone that I trust despite my past. So it really just depends on the person. Other than that, I think that's really it for rushing your life. Don't do it. You have time. You're not 40. You're not 50. These are really for my girlies in the 20s. Could be 30s. You still have time in your 30s. Like, you got time. And whoever says you don't, tell them off. Yeah, clocked it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys soon. I promise. I will see you guys soon. Mwah.